Hey, this is Rosa, RCG Creations. How are you? Bringing to you a new technique I've learned. And actually I learned it many years ago. Totally forgot about it. I know I have the tool. I've seen it. It's in my stash. I see it on a regular basis. I just don't get to it. Don't get used to it. But here is a card that I already completed. And I embossed the little bear. Then I colored it with some markers. And then I just put some ribbon, 2 shades of ribbon. But the technique that I want to show you is the background here. This background is using the same stencil from Woodworks. And then this is just a splatter technique on this little piece of card front right here that I have here. But as you can see how it's just lightly spattered. I didn't want anything too big because I didn't want to take too much away from the focal point of the little bear. Because isn't that cute? Now look at the little bitty bear's eyes. Aren't those the cutest little things? But he's so tiny and his eyes aren't that much bigger. It's like, I was going to put some little knobbly drawers I go, but I kind of like the simplicity of him. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. And then that's the inside of the card. And again, I splattered on top of my colored gel. And then I just double-sided foam this to give it some depth there. But what we're going to do, the main technique for today is splattering, and we're going to be using this, I think it's, yeah, this is called a Spritzer. I believe this is, I think, but I could be wrong, this is from Ranger Tim Holtz product. And what you do is you get any kind of marker. Here I have Copics. I've also got, let me grab them right quick here. I have a blending marker. This, don't know who this is. Oh, American Crafts. And then I've got a CalArt fine liner. And this is, I know I've demoed this before because I put it in one of my craft haul stashes. This is it's 100 fine line point, fine line vibrant colors. CalArt. It's fine tip 0.38 millimeter. But I love these markers and I love this whole kit. Number one, because almost every color you would want is on here. And they don't blend very well because they're markers and they're fine point tips. They kind of sort of blend, but you really got to work on it, and you got to use good quality cardstock for that to work. So this is basically just a color because they're the fine point tip. But I like these for really, I got these because of the fine detail printing, which is what I wanted. So anyway, and I'm making a second card, but the biggest, oh, and I'm also going to be using the Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. But here is the card. And what I'm going to do first, this is I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and paste this because I want a background design. So on this card I did the splatter, but I don't have any white and I want the background to be kind of white. So I'm going to do that first, and I'll bring you back in just a minute to show you how to use the spritzer. I'll be right back in a minute. Alright, just checking it, make sure my recording is back on. So what I'm doing now is I'm using the Anna Griffin embossing paste. And remember in my other video I told you that this dries up, and it really is starting to dry up, so I need to use this as much as possible. So I'm going to be doing more and more projects with this embossing paste, so I don't want to waste it. Okay, but what I'm doing is I'm using my Wendy Vecchi media mat. It's magnetic mat, and I got my little magnets that come with the mat. They're really sturdy. And I didn't put any pixie spray or any sticky stuff, nothing on there, because that's what the mat's for. So I'm using the tool for what it's meant for. So all I did was just put my washi tape on here because I wanted to make sure I didn't get anything on the back side of the card. And now I'm just, with my spatula, I love this little spatula. It came with the other sets that I have because it's nice and wide. And this is a small card, so it's not like a 12 by 12 project that I'm working on. And I'm just smoothing it out. And then I'm bending the spatula just a little bit to smooth all the excess paste off. You kind of have to work fast, but you don't want to be really slow, but you don't want to be really fast either, because you want to make sure you get the paste and all the grooves, because I want to cover this entire card white, except for the part where the stencil is at, where it's going to be the Tango craft color. I don't know what the color this is thing. This is in a paper pack that I got on sale a couple of years ago. I love to do when the Michaels and Hobby Lobby had the assorted colors in a paper pack. This is cardstock, and I think it's like 4 or 5 different colors in it. Anyway, so I'm just getting the whole thing, and you notice how you have the excess? All you do with the excess is put it right back in the container for the next time you use it. Oop, I got a speck right there. I don't want that to get on my paper. Okay, so I'm just taking the excess. I'm pushing down on the stencil for the excess to get it all out. Okay, so it looks like I've got, I'm missing some up here on top, but it looks like I've got pretty much everything now that's coated. Everything is coated. So, put my excess paste back in my jar. I'm going to put this in, I have a little container full of soapy water, warm soapy water, because I'm not going to wash this until I get done with the video. Close my lid up, because air is bad for texture embossing paste. Okay, let's take my magnets off. Let's take, let me use this part here, and let's see the reveal. Oh, yay! And then this I'm just going to soak in water. You can just wash it and with soap and water and under your tap, under your sink, or for right now, because I'm not doing that, just put it in a container of soaking water so it stays soft, and then you can wash it under the sink. And usually it just takes water and soap. Now this is the washi. Be very careful. Remove this slowly, because sometimes some pieces of washi stick more to the cardstock or paper, whatever it is that you're using, and it does rip. Now, because I used that paste on here, normally I would keep this, but because it's got paste all over it, I'm not going to mess with it. It's not worth the headache. I'm going to throw this away. But you know Frugal Rosa, she would save it, but not this time. Okay, so let me get my cardstock. Let me bring that up to show you. And look, turned out pretty darn good. And you notice that I didn't have any bleeding, like a lot of people say you have bleeding when you're using paste and stuff, if you don't put the pixie spray on your stencils. And again, you use your tools the way they're meant to be used. They work. So I don't have to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and smooth the edges off here, because I don't want these little stragglers of paste. I'm just going to put my hand in the soapy water, get my little scrap towel, and wipe my hands dry. And scrape off the excess on the top. And I definitely don't want any on the inside of the card. And you could easily do this when it's totally dry, and you're just going to kind of break off the tips of it. But I want to do it now while it's moist, because it's a little easier to work with. And then I'll see all these little stragglers of paste. Just, you know, poke your finger around it. Put it back on your mat. It ain't going to hurt nothing. There you go. There's that. Now I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to let that dry. But I wanted this to, I wanted to start the video with this first, because I wanted to show you that. And because there is a drying time required for this. Okay, so now get my wipey. Let me get my spatula back out of the container of water. And I'm going to see how it just comes right off because it's moist and wet. No mess. And then I'm going to use my spatula to scrape. See, it's already starting to get hard. But sometimes when it's really hard to get off. It depends on the type of paste that you're using, or if you're using a gel. So you want to take this off as soon as possible. Now I'm just going to take this, take all the extra with my wipey, dump it in my trash. Actually, it's not coming off. That's okay. I could just get another wipey. But I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to dip this in the water because I want moisture on here. And then that'll come off. You're just going to do a little scrubbing. And I'm just using this side of my finger now. See, the moisture just puts it back in and makes it more pliable again. And there you go. Use the other part of the wipey, and that's done. I don't have any little particles left, and that goes in the garbage. Okay, so now back to the little technique. Okay, what you do with the spritzer, this is just a handheld one. They do come up with some electric ones, but they're on the pricey side, like over $100, or they're close to that. And this comes with a little screw, and it comes right off. Let's see the little hole. That's going to go in this little hole here, because this is one side of marker, and this is a smaller size of marker. But I wanted to show you the whole technique here. Okay, that goes in. Goes all the way into the little, there's only one way in, and you push it in all the way. Okay, and then you'll see the screw going in there. And all the little screw is for is to hold the pen in here. So as you're using it, and I'm going to go get my scrap paper that I believe, as you can see, I've already sampled it, but anyway, I'm just going to use this. And then you could use the bristle point, the nib point. Oops, didn't mean for that to happen. Okay. You can use the nib point. I'm sorry, I was out of focus. The nib point. Some markers have both ends, some don't, or the brush point. It doesn't make a bit of difference. And then inside here, there's a little groove. I know you're going to probably not be able to see that very well in the camera because of the focus, but let me see if I can focus in. It's kind of a little flat tip there, and the rest of it is round. You'll probably be able to see it from there, that way. Let me get back a little closer. Hopefully I'm in focus. But you want the brush to sit on that flat tip. And you want it as close, so when the air blows, it blows the ink out. So put it as close to the tip of the plastic barrel of the marker. Hold it. And then twist this down, and what this screwing is going to hold the marker from moving up and down on you. And then the ink is going to blow. Oh, let me move it back in spot. There we go. And you see that? There's a splatter. And the closer you are, the bigger the splatter, the further away, the further the splatter. Let me go down here. And you see that? It's little speckles. So you get whatever look that you want based on the height that you are for the paper. Okay, so there's that. Now what I did is I went ahead and trimmed this out. This is going to be part of my card front. And I'm not going to worry about sticking anything because it's not going to go nowhere. And I'm just going to be pretty sporadic. Where it lands is where it lands for me, because this is going to be just a fun, whimsical card. So I'm not too worried about it. I definitely know I want to get some of the edges, but I'm going to be using different colors. So there's that one marker. And close out your marker so it doesn't dry up on you. And then let's do this one. just because it's here. And again, you want to line it up right to the very tip of the marker. Oops. Don't get it too tight because it'll move on. You just want it on there tight enough so it doesn't fall. Okay. And then there's that color. Kind of like that. Really sporadic. So you can see it did it on the fine little nibs. Now I'm going to get, and this one is a gold. Let me shake that up. You always want to shake your sparkle pens. So all the, I think it's mica that's in there that gives it that sparkle, but I could be wrong. I'm not exactly for sure. And then on these sparkle pens, you always, there's a pump. It says push it, and that's the pump, because what it does is when you push it, you're releasing ink from the barrel into this barrel that comes out to the brush. But this is pretty juicy. The juicier your ink pen marker is. Okay, you see how it doesn't fit? There's where you unscrew this, and this slides out. Screw that back in. Look through the hole because you want it to come out just a little bit. Hopefully you see that. Just because you want to be able to hold, that's going to have to hold this in here. So you see, it does fit. It's a bigger barrel. And you want to squeeze it just enough where the pen, the marker, doesn't move. Now again, remember you're angling. And you see that? Look at that. The further you are away, the bigger the more of the splatter. Isn't that neat? Another way to use the exact same markers that you already have, and you don't have to worry about it. And this is a manual machine. Yeah, the electric ones are a little bit nicer. That you don't have to do all the pumping. You just blow, turn it on. They're noisier. You know, it's like everything else. Everything has its pros and cons. Now let me go back to the Copics, because I haven't shown you the Copics yet. Oh, I just dropped something. Oh no, I didn't. It's over there. I hate it. This is a glass table, so whenever you're doing something clear plastic, you lose it because it's like, where is it? Where is it? It's actually there, but you don't see it until you get to a glare. Okay, now let's go with, we did the green, we got a blue, and let's do the purple. Okay, and you again, you can use that fine point brush, but so far I've liked doing the nib better. And it doesn't really matter if you do it this way or if you do it this way. For me so far, I've only been practicing on it since last night. I only spent like 2 hours on it, and then I had about an hour this morning just to see what all these markers, different markers that I have, what works and what doesn't work. Okay, I don't see no purple, but I did a while ago. Sometimes you have to move the sprayer to the marker itself. Oh, there it is. You see that? In fact, let me bring this up. I just want to make sure it's all dry because I think that sparkle pen is still a little moist. Okay, see this? There it is. Let me make sure I'm in focus. And there it is. And see the sparkle from the sparkle pen? It's just a little bit of a sparkle. Nothing major. I didn't want to do too much with it. But that is how you use the manual. But I'm pretty sure it's Ranger. Tim Holtz, I believe he's the one that created or brought it. Actually, this was out here for a long time ago. And I believe Tim Holtz, I saw 3 other Reddit videos on it last night, that he brought it back in. And so Ranger started selling, but it does say Spritzer on the side. But this came just like this by itself. There was no packaging. There was no nothing. So I really don't know. But based on the videos that I saw and I Googled it all, this looks just like the Tim Holtz Spritzer, and it says Spritzer right there, but he called it the Spritzer made by Ranger. And then there's little air holes in there, and it's really pretty flexible. And as everybody knows, well, the people who've been watching my videos and people who know me know, I have wrist issues, mostly in my right hand. So, and it doesn't really hurt my fingers or anything. So, for quick little jobs like this, it's great. I mean, I wouldn't do like a whole scrapbook page of that. That'll take you forever. That's when you really want the electric one. But anyway, now you get the main gist of the main topic for this video is how you use your sparkle. So I'm going to put this card together, and then I'll bring back and I'll show you the card, and by then my embossing paste would have been done. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm just checking to make sure the recording is on. Okay, great. I went ahead and finished the card. This is the front, and look how pretty this white embossing paste came out. It's not totally white because it was on the beige brown background, and you can kind of sort of see through it, but that's okay because I didn't want it to be overly thick. But I want to angle it so you could see that. And then there's the white paper that we spritzed with our markers just to give it some color to kind of match the little what are these candy necklaces? Remember we used to get those when we were little? I think they still sell them, but I'm not exactly for sure. And then what I did is I used my Spectrum Noir markers. And in just a minute I'll show you all the colors that I used. And then I just did a little stamp there. And I did it with double-sided foam tape just to give it a little bit of depth there. And then that's the inside of the card. Nice and simple. And then you notice how the white on that very much matches the white of the embossing paste. Look at that. And it's because this is a dark color stock, cardstock. So to keep that in mind when you're doing dark color cardstock, to use a white, because it's not going to be white, because it's a dark background. But anyway, that finishes that card. And this is my video on how to use a spritzer to spritz ink with your markers. Okay, and then here's the ink markers that I used. I did this is Creative Memories. This is not, it's a marker, but you can't see through it like you can with these other ones here. And this is a silver. But if you look on the little bear, I did it as an accent piece just to go around so you can kind of see the shape of the bear's feet, his legs, his little tummy, his little bandages because he's a little wore out bear. And then I went ahead and put some Nauvoo. This is Ebony Black. Look at those little bitty eyes. Aren't those the cutest little things? So, but I'm not going to touch it because I just put it on there. And it does take about a good 10 to 20 minutes for it to dry. And these are the markers that I use for the background. So we use the CalArt Fine Liner, kind of an orangey red color. We use the blending markers from American Crafts. There's no color, but it's kind of a bluey teal color. And then I use my gold Spectrum Noir sparkle pens, which actually turns into kind of a goldy greeny color. If you can see that on the sparkle. Let me do it a little bit slow so you can see it all. Hopefully you can see it all there. And then, so there's those. And then these are the backgrounds that I used. This is the Copex E29, G94, BV00, B12. So that's all the Copex. Okay, and then these are the ones that I use for the necklaces. For the necklace, the little candies of the necklaces. And so they were LV2, the IG4 and IG2 was for the bear. That's for the body of the bear. I went ahead and did them two-tone. Okay, on the bear. And this is for the necklaces. So CT3, DG2, BT7, LV2, BP2, and TB3. And I want to show you. I don't have a brand. I don't even know where I got these. I got these several years ago. I don't know if it was from a wholesaler or subseller. If I was at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Joann's, I couldn't tell you. They were the two little bears. that I did on the first card. Here's the first card, and here's the second card. So this is with embossing paste, and this is just with the spray inks, the spray markers. And then these are the two little bears. So those are the two little bears. There's the one with the little cupcakes, and then there's the one with that. And that is the finished project for the two. I thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and share, subscribe. Definitely refer me to some of your friends and family. I would love to get some more subscribers. I thank you, and we catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.